Hello guys, Brad here again with another fragrance review. Today I want to talk about my sample of Sexual Paris Pour Homme from the house of Michel, Germain. Now, I recently reviewed Sexual Paris Tendre edition, so I believe this one is the original fragrance and the Tendre was a flanker of this one. So this one came out in 2015, classified as an Oriental Fougere, with top notes of grapefruit, star anise, cardamom. In the mid, we have more cardamom with sage, champagne, and mandarin orange. Base notes of patchouli, fir resin, and cedar. So, inside the card, not too much going on there. A little sample vial with no sprayer. And once again, aphrodisiac infused. I can't help but think that the aphrodisiac note is probably the champagne note, which kind of boosts the citrus a little bit, gives it a little bit more sparkle and shine, possibly more so than your typical bergamot grapefruit citrus would. But this one, yeah, starts off with a bright burst of the grapefruit with the sparkly champagne added. You do get some cardamom and even a tiny bit of star anise here. So I remember the first time I wore this one, it kind of reminded me of Perry Alice Pure Blue, because that also has the grapefruit cardamom and sort of a soft powdery floral in here as well, which kind of reminded me of lavender a little bit, but I think it's probably the sage. You know, I was doing some research on sage. It looked like sage has a purple flower similar to lavender, so maybe it's that sage that's giving it a bit of a floral powderyness as well. But you also get that typical bubblegummy amber type thing going on as well, and that's probably why this one reminds a lot of people of Paco Rabanne's Invictus, and some people say 1 million as well. I would probably say this one does kind of smell in the same family as either Invictus or Invictus Aqua. So if you like that type of fragrance, if you like Perry Alice Pure Blue, this one's similar to that. It's not mind-blowing in uniqueness, but it's, you know, a typical sort of easy to wear, generic type, youthful, freshy with that typical bubblegummy amber mixed with that grapefruit floral, a little spice from the cardamom and star anise and the powdery floral stuff. So yeah, it's okay. I think the more I wore this one, the more tiring it became, because it did start to remind me more and more of all these other bubblegummy fragrances that I have already tried and reviewed. So this one quickly became sort of boring and uneventful to my nose, even though initially when I smelled it, I think I probably liked this one more than Tendre. But now that I start to think about it more, I'm thinking, well, maybe Tendre is a little bit better, because at least with that herbal leather accord in there, it does strive for something a little bit different. You know, it might be a little bit more animalic, leathery, but, you know, at least I think it gave it a little bit more uniqueness as well. Maybe a little bit more mature vibe as well. So, yeah, nothing too eventful here. Sexual Paris Pour Homme, 2015 release, same family as the Invictus fragrances, pretty much, or Perry Alice type thing, Pure Blue or whatever. So, yeah, let's get into some final scores. Smell 6 out of 10. You know, being in my 50s, these bubblegummy citrusy scents are really starting to seem a little bit uninspired, a little bit too youthful for my taste as well. Projection longevity, I'll say 7.5 out of 10. I think I do smell this one on myself throughout the day. It pretty much lasts all day, but I didn't get any feedback on this one at work. No one said, oh, you smell good, or nobody said you smell like you're wearing too much or anything. It's just, I wore it and nobody said a word. It's just like, oh, maybe we smelled this too many times before to even mention it anymore. Versatility, I'll say 7 out of 10, especially if you're, you know, maybe in your 20s or 30s. This type of scent you could probably wear every day. It would just kind of fit right in with the modern generic freshies that you find at your Macy's and Sephora's these days. Uniqueness, 5 out of 10. It's just nothing there to really give it any uniqueness. The champagne note is there, yeah, but after a couple wearings, that champagne note really just seems like a gimmick, more so than something to give this fragrance much more to talk about than what it really is. Just the same old stuff. Price point, not fragrance net, just like Tendre. This one is discounted pretty well at $47.24 for the big 4.2 ounce bottle. Overall, for me, 6 out of 10. This is probably not something that I will pursue after the sample is done. Move on to something else. I think hopefully get away from the sexual line at least for a while. I think I need to get away from this line because it's starting to get on my nerves a little bit. But yeah, sexual Paris pour homme. A pretty safe, easy to wear, freshy, but nothing too special. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.